Hello, everyone. My name is Tansy, and I am the founder and lead coach of the Crypto Ethic, an organization teaching particularly women about Bitcoin, crypto, money, and financial freedom. So it's been discovered that the Bitcoin white paper, so this is the kind of fundamental proposal of what Bitcoin is, and essentially lays out the fundamentals of the Bitcoin network and how it works. So this white paper has been found on Mac OSs since 2018. So essentially secreted away in the Mac OS updates, there has been a copy of the Bitcoin white paper as a PDF, which is really interesting on a number of reasons. Although things have been hidden in the Mac OSs before. So I think there was a Monty Python video game that was hidden originally. But it's interesting because it really allowed for the sending out onto multiple computers or millions of computers around the world, this Bitcoin white paper. So it's accessible pretty much everywhere, which is really amazing because if some of the hosted platforms which hold the Bitcoin white paper go down or can't be read, well, we will have a copy on our computers if you're using Apple Macs. So it's this sort of really amazing way of filtering it into the collective consciousness, but underneath. So until it is discovered, but once it has been, it is everywhere. So it kind of speaks to that distributed nature of Bitcoin. Now, some people have speculated whether Steve Jobs, who was the founder of Apple, could have put it there. But obviously he passed away, I think it was 6 or 7 years before. So he passed away in 2011 and it was put into the macOS in 2018 is the first one that was discovered. So it would be unlikely that he would have done it. So it may be that there is someone in Apple who is a Bitcoin proponent, and it certainly seems that way. Now, what is interesting is that Bitcoin was created or invented by a synonymous person called Satoshi Nakamoto. So nobody knows who Satoshi Nakamoto is, whether it's one person or a group of people. There is speculation that it was sort of a group of people, but perhaps there is a sort of a kingpin, as it were, and they have really stepped out of the picture. But the reason I say that is because there is a person called Craig Wright, who is a computer scientist from Australia. And I'm bringing him up because it kind of adds a little bit more to the story. So he claims that he is Satoshi Nakamoto and has sued a number of different cryptocurrencies, has sued a number of organizations for a number of things relating to Bitcoin. He claims that the Bitcoin white paper is his intellectual property, and so he has tried to copyright it. So bitcoin.org, that hosted the Bitcoin white paper, he accused them of copyright infringement. And although he hasn't been confirmed as being Satoshi for many number of reasons, in that case in particular, there was consideration given because the founder of bitcoin.org was not willing to have his identity known, and that basically was a problem for the case. But Craig Wright has also gone after other cryptocurrencies, saying that they used the kind of fundamental technology that is Bitcoin to create those spin-off cryptocurrencies. And he sued Coinbase because they stated that Bitcoin, the original sort of Bitcoin, was the original. But during the blockchain wars, there was a split. So Bitcoin was on one path and there was a hard fork, so a split, and the Bitcoin kind of went into became two different sort of things. One is this sort of traditional original Bitcoin that people still used and upgraded. And then the other was called Bitcoin SV, or Bitcoin Satoshi's Vision. And Craig Wright claims that Bitcoin Satoshi's Vision is the original Bitcoin, that it has a bigger block, and the Bitcoin traditional maintained a smaller block size. But Craig Wright, who claims he's Satoshi, said that after the fork, it should be the bigger block. with Bitcoin Satoshi's vision that should be considered the original Bitcoin. And so he sued Coinbase for that, but lost. He can't prove that he is Satoshi Nakamoto because Satoshi, the original Satoshi, essentially mined Bitcoin and put it into the Genesis block and put that into a particular wallet. And whoever is Satoshi Nakamoto could access and use and send Bitcoin out of that original wallet. And that's never been done. You can see that Craig Wright was involved in the later stages of creating Bitcoin, and there is evidence of that. But there is a lot of things around Craig Wright. One of his the co-creators of Bitcoin, or part co-creator, passed away. And there's just a lot of interesting kind of details about it. And I don't believe that he is the final Satoshi Nakamoto, particularly as the very vision of Bitcoin is all about decentralization, is all about distribution, is all about the technology and not the person. So for a person to step up and try to lay claim to it is literally the antithesis of what Bitcoin was designed for. And that kind of ego, the greed, the want for a self, for like creating the reputation, that is in opposition to what Bitcoin wants to do, which is to just show that it is a peer-to-peer electronic cash system that can operate outside of the greed and ego and power politics of people. And it just operates as a purely monetary process. Just Craig Wright stating that he's Satoshi Nakamoto and pushing so hard for this just is sort of makes him seem less like Satoshi even more. Now, what's been interesting is obviously he claimed copyright infringement for Bitcoin.org because they had a copy of the Bitcoin white paper up on their website. And so he has suggested that he will be taking Apple to court for having the Bitcoin white paper hidden in its Mac OS updates. And so we will wait to see what happens there, but it's just another sort of example of Craig Wright and his desire to have Bitcoin connected to him. But I think that finding the Bitcoin white paper on all of these Mac computers is such an exciting thing, and you can go and find it yourself. There's instructions online to see how you can find it. So I recommend you going doing that and reading the white paper for yourself and coming to realize, perhaps in doing so, the importance and power of Bitcoin as a technology. So until next time, I hope that you stay well. I hope you enjoyed this little video, and I look forward to speaking to you soon. Have a wonderful day. Bye.